Welcome everyone to the SSG podcast, where we have game news and discussion. Thank you everyone who's listening right now. Kind of forgot the other day, actually, last week, that I didn't plug the Twitter or Facebook pages. Whoops, my bad. So I'm just going to go and do it right now. If you want to follow us on Twitter, which please, by all means, follow us on Twitter, you can do so at SSG_podcast. And if you want to follow us on Facebook, then by all means, you can just search SSG Podcast on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure the red logo will find its way to your soul or something like that. I don't know. You'll be able to find the red logo, and you'll know where you'll know what it is. You'll know what it means. So interesting show this week, guys. There's a lot of stuff to kind of dissect. We're coming up on to Black Friday. A lot of interesting stuff is going to happen, which in America, it's a big thing. I don't know if any of you who listen are actually non-Americans, but if you're non-Americans, Black Friday is a big deal in U.S. culture. It's the day after the American holiday of Thanksgiving, and it's essentially Black Friday for the obvious reasons. It's when companies tend to go into the black, which means that they make a massive amount of profit. So there's all kinds of deals and spiffy little things that are out there. You just have to kind of find them. It used to be back in the day that for whatever reason people would go to brick and mortar stores, physical stores, to actually find these good deals and also get trampled. But nowadays things tend to be a little smarter. The internet is such a global phenomenon, right? And you can find all kinds of deals online. So I'm looking forward to going through a couple of articles that I found that actually have some pretty good deals on it. If any of you guys are actually interested in finding, something, that you don't have, I think this would be a really cool way of kind of breaking down some of the better deals I saw, or just some deals in general. It's no big deal. But at the end of the day, I thought, it'd be kind of fun. There's also a big old elephant in the room. Oh, I said elephant in the room. The elephant has left the room. We'll get to talking about that a little bit later in the show. And also some speculation as far as the future goes. I think there's some cool stuff referring to where our console's going. I know it's been a major factor with a lot of talk, like as far as talking points go, when it comes to the show. I've done a lot of speculation in earlier episodes, but I think we are starting to now see where things are trending a little bit even more, which is kind of cool to see. Even some predictions that I made are actually kind of going through. So with that, and we've got that plus the Twitter poll, and we get the new Twitter discussion. All that is coming up right after we go through new games that have come out. So, new games that have released since the last show that we had. The Spyro Reignited Trilogy has finally released. It's another of these remakes of fantastic games. We had Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, I do believe that's what it was called, that came out earlier this year for all consoles, I do believe. And now you have the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, the first 3 Spyro games. Came out on November 13th. For PS4 and Xbox One. I have no news on if this is going to come out for the Switch, but I would assume that if this sells well, then yes, they will port it to the Switch. It has a 83 on PS4 and an 81 on Xbox One. Those are fantastic games, especially the original Spyro and Spyro 2. I remember those on the original PlayStation. It's so weird, though, seeing Spyro come out on an Xbox console, on something other than PlayStation. I just think that's just insane. Another big game that came out on November 14th was Fallout 76. It's an action RPG MMO. I know next to nothing about the game. I did not take part in the beta when it was a thing. I just had no desire to pre-order a game just to try the beta out. I don't like that tactic at all. I think that's very manipulative. Let me try the beta out before I purchase it, because it's a demo, right? It's the way that I've always perceived betas to be, to a degree, is something of a demo for a game, or at least in some aspects, with betas nowadays, with games such as Ark or DayZ and whatnot, the beta is just a price point, right? It's it's an entry point so that you're not spending the full $60 for the game, but you're still able to buy the game, to buy a bit of the game, something like that, to join in without the game being fully released. But regardless, I'm going to check off Fallout 76 a bit, probably this weekend, see what it looks like. I'm probably not going to purchase it myself. It's not something I really feel like investing money into, but I think it might be interesting. It's come out for the PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. There are currently no scores on Metacritic yet, so who knows? I have no clue. The next game that came out on November 15th was Underworld Ascendant. Oh, and real quick, another little thing about the Fallout 76 stuff. I like Bethesda. I like Fallout. I think they're fun games. It's very interesting that they wanted to come out, though, with a MMO-style game, something that could last for a long period of time. And that's something that is, once again, it's another trend that's going on with games, game companies. They want to make these games that they can hold on to for a long period of time. That's the Grand Theft Auto 5 type thing. Grand Theft Auto Online, they are not going to come out, Rockstar is not going to come out with another GTA game for as long as they can keep making money off GTA Online. So, that's it. Underworld Ascendant came out on November 15th. It's an action RPG. It's a PC exclusive. I don't know what this is about at all, but it looks cool. And I don't think it has anything to do with Underworld as in like the movies. I could do a quick little search here, but in all honesty, I think if it's an action RPG, something akin to Diablo, then I think that's pretty awesome. Let's see here. It is a first-person action role-playing game developed by Other Side Entertainment and published by 505 Games. It is a sequel to Ultima Underworld, the Stygian Abyss, and Ultima Underworld 2, Labyrinth of Worlds. So, does this mean it's part of an Ultima type game? No clue. Yeah, this is actually a game in the line of Ultima games. That's actually pretty freaking awesome. So yeah, there you go, guys. It's another Ultima game. Because there's already... The main line, there's already 9 Ultima games. I think the last one came out in 99. Still, though, it's really cool stuff to see. I like that. The next game to come out on the 15th, and this is the deluxe edition only. The regular edition comes out November 20th, is Battlefield 5. You know what Battlefield... If you don't know what Battlefield is, then you probably have been living under a rock at this point. It's a first-person shooter. It's the competitor to Call of Duty. They tend to focus more on more open world style maps in their multiplayer. Battlefield 4 was really fun to play. But it's like Call of Duty is essentially your run and gun shooting. I think with Battlefield games, you tend to have to... it's still run and gun, but you have to be a little more strategic, when you move and all that kind of stuff. So that came out, or at least the deluxe edition came out, and the regular version will come out on November 20th. It's come out for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and so far the reviews are kind of, they're okay to meh. For some other reason, it has a 74 on PC, a 74 on PS4, with a 79 on Xbox One and 82 on PC. Another big thing to come out on the 16th, November 16th, is The Sims 4 Get Famous expansion. Obviously, it's the PC exclusive. For those of you who are fans of The Sims 4, as it is with most of their expansions, buyer beware. Do your research. See if it's something you really want. Because from my experience, when it comes to most expansions with the Sims games, you have to be very careful with what you go for. In fact, if you try to get the expansions to all the Sims 3, or all the expansions for Sims 3, you would be paying a ludicrous amount of money. So, just do your own research, I guess is the best I can say with that. And then, this game people have been waiting for this one for a while. It's a simultaneous release of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. Came out on November 16th for the Nintendo Switch. Both games currently have an 81 on Metacritic. They're RPGs. I think they are supposed to be tag-alongs with the Pokemon Go games. so the Pokemon that you get in Pokemon Go, that you can actually use them in an actual game of some sort. I don't quite know the entirety of it all, so I might be misquoting. Just go look the game up if you're interested. Don't let me be like your go-to source for what a game is, because I don't know what every single game honestly is. But I will tell you when that game comes out, and if I have an opinion on that, then I will absolutely say what it is. That being stated, I love Pokemon. I think Pokemon Go is a wonderful game. If you live in an environment, if you live in a city where you can take advantage of it. I think in certain suburban and rural, I can't say the word, areas, you can't exactly take advantage of the game. If you live in more of an urban environment, a bigger city, if you were to live in like Atlanta, if you were to live in LA, San Francisco, these cities where you don't really drive around the city all that much, you have to do a lot of walking, then I think that the Pokemon Go is a wonderful, fantastic game. Otherwise, though, it's hit or miss, I feel like. So I hope these games do well. I really hope that they sell well and people gravitate towards them, and it encourages Nintendo to continue to make Pokemon games, especially I'm waiting for the main series game to come out on Switch. I don't know what they're going to do. I think it's going to be stunning and fantastic, but just have to be patient. So with that said, let's get into some news topics. All right, so what I've done is I've gone through and I've gotten a couple of articles from, one of them from, double check. One of them is from CNET, so take that with a grain of salt, I suppose. The other two are from IGN, just because I thought it was pretty simple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through some of these deals on here, and you can pick I'm going to pick out the ones that I thought were actually kind of cool, and I'm also going to post all of the links to these articles in the description, just so that you can obviously take a look yourself. Sometimes it's hard to kind of determine where to go as far as the sites to just find information on. I tried to do my best to find sites to have all the stores. So if it's a Walmart, if it's Amazon, if it's Best Buy, GameStop, wherever, I want to take those articles, and those are the ones I'm going to obviously use more, because it's going to have more of the stuff on there. This is all directed towards gamers, though, so this should be interesting. So on the CNET article, or SNET as I used to call them when I was younger, they have an Xbox One S 1TB Microsoft Creators Bundle. So it comes with essentially Minecraft Creators Bundle. It comes with Minecraft and a couple of additional expansions. I think you get like a skin pack and some other stuff with it as well for Xbox One. Essentially, this is $200 at Walmart. That's a really good deal if you want to get your hands on a Xbox One S. This is the exact same type of Xbox One that you get through the Xbox One S that you get through the Xbox All Access. And to get that in a game, even a game such as Minecraft, I think $200. That's not a bad way of starting things out. They also have an Xbox One S Battlefield 5 bundle for just $29 more. It's $229. This is at Amazon. Apparently, the deal is available via Amazon and Dell. So what this does, it gives you Battlefield 1, and you also get Battlefield 1 Revolution and Battlefield 1943 as add-ins as well. So a couple of Battlefield games if you're wanting to jump into the most, well, I can't say the most recent, last year's Battlefield game, which was pretty good, and you also want to get a copy of this year's Battlefield game, because what the heck am I saying? Same Xbox One S as I've got. It's really neat. 1TB hard drive. Good stuff. There's also a Xbox One X. So this is the next one up. 4K, essentially 4K Xbox. But it's Xbox One X 1TB Fallout 76 bundle for $429. And yeah, that's a steep price. That's on Amazon. But that's not a bad deal. You get a pretty good game that, or at least we hope it's going to be a pretty good game. And you also get an Xbox One X. But I will say this, when it comes to the Xbox One X, unless you have a 4K TV or you plan on very soon, within the next month or so, getting a 4K TV, just don't even bother getting it. Don't even get it. Because that's all you're getting with the Xbox One X. It's just you're getting the ability to play games in 4K. You don't have to go for the latest and the greatest just because you can. Sometimes we need to be a little responsible, right? There's also at Walmart, you can get a straight up Xbox One X terabyte hard drive for just straight $400 at Walmart. And let's see, there's a couple of other ones here. You've got an Xbox One S Game Pass bundle with Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Destiny 2. I think this is the best, honestly, the best one of the bunch. You get an Xbox One S. It looks like 3 months of Game Pass and 3 months of Xbox Live Gold, plus Call of Duty Black Ops 4, which just recently came out, and Destiny 2, for $300 at Sam's Club. So if you have a membership at Sam's Club, then I think that would be as a fantastic starter bundle. You're going to obviously want to re-up that Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold as soon as possible, but I think it's a wonderful starter bundle. For $300, that's not bad at all. Understand that for 2 years of Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold plus the same type of console, it was $560 for me. So take advantage of that. That'd be really good. I think it's gonna be really awesome. Now we're gonna move on to the best Black Friday 2018 Nintendo deals on IGN. Here's a couple of deals that they have going on that IGN was able to find. So if you want a Nintendo Switch with Mario Kart 8, they have an Ultimate Bundle at Walmart, Best Buy, and GameStop for $299. And you can also get Super Mario Party Plus a Joy-Con pack at Amazon, Best Buy, and GameStop for $99. That's a really good deal, actually. Joy-Cons themselves are $70 a pop. So you're getting potentially paying full price for a Joy-Con plus $30 for Super Mario Party. You get another game. I like that deal. That's a really good deal. Apparently Bayonetta 2 is going on sale for $40. This is on, I think, Nintendo's main website. So Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is on sale for $35 at Walmart. Kirby Star Allies is on sale for $35 at Walmart. Let's see, there's a Nintendo 2DS Super Mario Maker bundle for $80 at Walmart and Best Buy. That's a pretty good deal. It's a fantastic game that you're getting. I unfortunately don't have that. I need that game. I really need to get that game. You can get the starter edition for Starlink Battle for Atlas for all consoles for $35. The starter set normally retails for $75, so you're getting it for 50% off all consoles. And also, take note, the Switch version is the only one that comes with the exclusive Star Fox R-Wing, and you also get some Star Fox figurines and stuff like that. Oh man, and what else is happening? So, Nintendo Switch Black Friday 2018 game sales. There's a bunch of stuff that's going on sale. I'm trying to see if there's anything worth getting. So, Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, $35 at Walmart. Dragon Ball FighterZ is $25 at Walmart. And the Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is $25 at Walmart. So there's a bunch of other pretty decent deals on here to a degree. But yeah, I'd check out on this if you're wanting to get something for Nintendo. Doesn't seem there's like a ton of like super awesome deals, unfortunately. So then we move on to the next IGN article, which is the best Black Friday sales at Walmart. They have some TVs and stuff going on sale if you're interested in that. If you're wanting to upgrade to some QLEDs or some straight up LEDs. This is kind of cool. They actually have a Red Dead Redemption 2 plus $10 Xbox gift card for $59.89. So this is a Walmart. So get one of the best games this year and add $10 of free Xbox cash. Plus, this bundle deal has free 2-day shipping, so you can get it before Black Friday even begins. They have a code that you need to use, and you'll get the $10 instantly laptops, some 2-in-1s, monitors, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, there's finally something for PS4. Holy crap. Sony, what you doing, man? They have a Sony PS4 Slim 1TB with Spider-Man for $200. So this is originally priced at $300, so it's $100 cheaper. They'll have DualShock 4 controllers for $39. A Pac-Man arcade 1-up cabinet, Walmart exclusive, $250. No idea, guys. No idea. They have a bunch of games on sale, actually, probably at Walmart. You can probably find it online as well, that are going to be for about $35. Overwatch Legendary Edition for PS4 is going to be $40. Tons of $25 games. Yeah, there's just a ton of stuff to look through, all that. And you know what? I think I'm going to leave it at that, because I will, like I said, post these 4 articles in the actual description. You guys go through it, peruse through it, let me know what you find, because we got a bunch of other news stuff to get to. You know what I'm talking about. So there's a report that came in from Variety that Microsoft is working on a disc-free Xbox One. This may potentially come out next year. It says Microsoft is working on 2 new cost-cutting Xbox One consoles, one with a disc drive and one without, for next year. The 2 consoles sound like they're being designed specifically with an eye toward reducing the cost of the Xbox One as the life cycle of this generation of game systems start to come to an end. The new consoles will likely cost less than $200. Fascinating. Creating a less expensive version of an existing game console is a common move for platform holders as a system nears the end of its current gen life. Both the PlayStation and Xbox received cheaper versions last generation. It says most interesting though is that one of the 2 systems won't use a disc drive, instead relying on a hard drive and digital games. According to Phil Spencer, Microsoft's vice president, he says strategically. See, when I say console, I mean console the way you and I grew up playing games, consoles. So he's saying that, the hard physical, like the consoles that we all knew, right? The original Xbox, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Dreamcast, stuff like that. We're reaching a point where that's not going to happen. Potentially. It says, it's a device I play on a screen that has high fidelity experiences. It's highly immersive and is the way I play most of my games. Strategically, this is important to us. Our content partnerships are from consoles. The foundation of our great relationship with EA, Take-Two, Activision is the fact that we have a console, and those companies do an amazing business on that console. We are a platform provider for that. When people hear Xbox, they think about a console plugged into a TV. More and more, I want to think about how I get access to what I want everywhere. But the center of the experience we have on the console is something we are committed to. So that's very fascinating. And I actually stated, several episodes back of how it seems that we are drifting more and more towards that digital. Just download everything. You don't use hard discs anymore, because things are getting more and more. Software is getting more and more. Well, it's getting larger, right? Red Dead Redemption 2 came on 2 CDs. And I say CDs, they're actually Blu-rays. I think they're thicker than what the original Blu-rays were, so they contain a lot of data, but we're getting to a point to where that medium is just not working anymore. So the only obvious logical step is to have consoles that are disc-free, and I think this is a great way for Microsoft to test the market to see if people will purchase this type of console. And I think, like a lot of people, people don't like change. People like me, I think, in a lot of ways, I'm considered a millennial, but I think it's real easy for us just to go, well, it's not how things used to be. I think people are getting better at adopting change a whole lot better. And yeah, I think this unfortunate the way that things are going to go. I'm saddened by it because I always prefer to have that hard copy. That's what I want. I want to be able to actually say, when I purchase this, I now own this. And unfortunately, we're just getting to a point where you own a license to use it. That's what the $60 that you paid for, or however much it was you paid for that game, was meant to be used as. You don't own the game anymore. So if they ever decide to remove the game, or if something else happens, you lose your Xbox, but then you forget your passcode and you can't get back into your thing, then whoops, sorry. And that's something I've just never fully liked because I don't know. I guess my problem is people are just embracing technology way too much. Way too much. People are too comfortable with these things, these devices that could potentially, be hacked by anyone. So, yeah, to me, it's just kind of like what I always say: just be careful, when it comes to things like this. But I think it's cool. I think it's nice that we're getting cheap things. It also makes me sad that we're getting to the end of this console cycle, because now I'm thinking, because having, with what I've gotten, the fact that I've got all three of these consoles, that's so cool and so neat. And then you start realizing, like, oh no, there's going to be other consoles, and you're going to have to pay, even that much more for them. And I'm just like, I'm getting to a point now where I'm happy with what I have, and I'll always be thankful for what I have and grateful. And it may be time for me just to kind of pick one and move on. Maybe that'll be Nintendo, kind of a thing, since their games are almost generally exclusive, and I'm finding myself more and more these days playing more Nintendo games. But who knows? Moving on to really cool bit of information that I saw on IGN. Devil May Cry series joins Castlevania new multiverse from Ada Shankar, the person who did the adaptation for the Castlevania series on Netflix. I thought this was awesome. This sounds like it's going to be really kind of cool. I would love to have a cross between two of them. I don't know if I think it's going to be an animated series adaptation of Capcom's popular video games franchise Devil May Cry is in the works. So it'd be really cool to have kind of a crossover like that. And I think that would work out pretty well, especially if you use some of the characters from like the later Castlevania games. It all seems like it would kind of mesh up really well. So that's really cool to see. The Castlevania series on Netflix right now is pretty freaking awesome, and I'm looking forward to the Diablo animated series whenever that decides to come out, or Blizzard decides to announce something with it. But I love seeing video games being taken from the storytelling medium that we are accustomed to, which is playing these games, and putting them into a different manner, telling different stories, kind of a thing. It's really neat. I'm all for it. Okay, so moving on to another issue that I just came across. Oh man, so I was pumped up yesterday because I thought, you know what, we're going to be getting a lot of information on N64 Classic. This sounds awesome. Well, sad news, people. Yesterday, Nintendo's Reggie Fils-Aimé, I never know how to say his last name, broke a lot of hearts when in a Kotaku interview he said that while he wouldn't rule out the concept, a mini N64 Classic Edition was not in our planning horizon. Oh, that is atrocious. That breaks my heart. That breaks a lot of people's hearts. There's all kinds of hearts all over the place. They're just smashed and smothered, and how dare you? But I understand that. It was a rumor, and that's all that it was, and that's all that it was going to be. It says that comes as something of a surprise, as many assumed it might be another holiday blockbuster for Nintendo as soon as this year. But it seems for now the NES and SNES Classic Editions will be all Nintendo has, though rival Sony is producing a, in parentheses, not terribly well received, Classic PS1 for the holiday this year. So why isn't Nintendo making an N64 Classic? There are a number of potential reasons, some having to do with hardware given that it's an upgrade from the 8/16-bit era, others having to do with marketing, saving it for a rainy day. But there's one aspect of an N64 Classic that would taint the console unless by some miracle Nintendo can work something out. This is where it gets really good. This is a really good article. And he says, Paul Tassi? Tassi, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. This is a fantastic article. Forbes is becoming one of my favorites when it comes to these articles. The thing is, Nintendo doesn't have the rights to Rare games right now. And you may think, well, that's not that big of a deal. GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Perfect Dark, even Conker's Bad Fur Day. Diddy Kong Racing? To some aspect, didn't Rare also do Donkey Kong 64? Rare was bought by Microsoft in 2002, so that's probably... I'm not going to say that you couldn't make the N64 Classic a good little system, but there's a lot of stuff that you wouldn't be able to put on to that, and that kind of makes me sad. Not only the fact that we're not going to get it, which, guys, come on, it makes sense. That makes sense. I understand there was speculation and there was hope and everything like that, but just give it time. I think the NES Classic and the NES Mini and the SNES Classic, or whatever, however you want to call them, they're whatever emulation boxes. They are what they are, and they're really cool, like official nostalgia. Pays homage to the olden days of gaming, kind of a thing. Even though the NES Mini had the short, stupid controller cables out of the box and blah blah blah. And there's tons of games. There's tons of games that you can put on this NES Mini if you wanted to. The NES Classic. You could make it work. I think it would be great. Even in the article, it states you've got stuff like Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64. Which, hey Kevin, if you're listening to this, I'm still waiting on it. Star Fox 64, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Pokemon Snap. They say Donkey Kong 64 on here. I thought that was developed by Rare. Because I thought they developed that before they did Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, the developer is Rare. So, I don't know. I guess because Nintendo owns the rights to the character, then they can actually use it. Okay, whatever. Paper Mario and Yoshi's Story. I'd play that. There's still a lot of other filler games that you could potentially throw in there, too. You could put the original Smash Brothers on there. People play that. You could put, I don't know. Let me know what you think. What games would you like to have as far as on a N64 Classic of sorts? What games do you think, outside of your traditional Mario games type thing, or your Legend of Zeldas, your Star Foxes and whatnot, what do you think would actually fit and work? Pokemon Stadium. That'd be another one. So just let me know what you think about that. And let me know if you're also kind of saddened by that, because I think it's a bit of a pipe dream, right? But I think eventually we'll get something like that. I think eventually Nintendo will open up to that concept. And I think it's already planned, and they're working on stuff. And just be patient, guys. Just be patient. Be happy with what we've gotten over the past couple of years. It's really cool stuff. Some really cool stuff. So now I want to move on to the big issue, the big oh my gosh story that happened earlier this week. Sony has dropped out of E3 for 2019. It's the first time that they've actually dropped out of E3 since E3 essentially came. Was it gone? It was gone at one point. Well, regardless, in 24 years. It's been 24 years. And I'm wondering if this means something major for game developers and publishers altogether. E3, in my opinion, was really awesome back in the days of when magazines were still a big thing. I remember getting GamePro right after E3, and you would have this big issue, several issues actually, because they would cover a bunch of stuff over the next few months, but you'd get a bunch of stuff about the games that were previewed and discussed about and demoed or teased and all that kind of stuff, and it was a spectacle. Because nowadays, it's not like how things are nowadays, right? You wouldn't really know what was going to happen until essentially it kind of happened. Nowadays, you know in advance, you know beforehand, and so I'm thinking personally, E3 isn't what it used to be. Obviously, there's a lot of conventions that go on throughout the years now. There's all kinds of stuff like the PAX East, PAX West, PAX South, whatnot. Gamescom, I think, is another one of them. You'll have these events that go. You'll even have specific conferences where Nintendo will have their directs throughout the year. You'll have BlizzCon as something. These developers, they get to be so massive, or the publishers, they get to be so massive that they don't need E3 to really be able to discuss what they're working on. they can go about it in their own way. So I think a lot of the spotlight we put on E3 is kind of reached a point where we don't really need to. I don't think it's put it this way, I don't think it's unnecessary to have E3. But I can see, because of Sony's move here, that a lot of, moving on, that a lot of other publishers and developers can decide, you know what, maybe this isn't the best way to push my game out there. Now, it would be, for indies and all that kind of stuff, sure. But indies are going to go for the other cons, your PAXs, your other kind of, maybe not on such a big scale type convention, but I just don't think it's. I don't think anyone such as Nintendo or Microsoft or Sony has anything to really prove at E3, and I think honestly, and it's been documented at this point, Sony's just biding time for the PlayStation 5. And I think what's going to happen is E3 is going to come and go, and Microsoft and Nintendo, they'll have their own little things, and they'll announce stuff, and we'll get all kinds of information from other developers and publishers and all that kind of stuff. Bethesda and EA and Activision and whatnot, they'll all talk about their games. Ubisoft, woo, yay! It's what I look forward to the most when it comes to E3. But I don't think we'll miss Sony all that much, because I think they're biding time for the PlayStation 5. But also, do you guys remember the video that they showed this year? I think it had maybe 2 games that weren't showed from other companies at that time. I think they may have shown a little bit of Spider-Man, and that's about it. They were kind of embarrassed. They had like one of the worst presentations, I think, out of everyone. And like, they had no other exclusives. They had nothing really cool to show. Nothing, this is a game that they're developing, or it could be something like, hey, Square Enix, we want to use that Kingdom Hearts trailer again to use for the Xbox One, because they got nothing else. Yeah, they got nothing to show. It's not that they don't have anything that they're working on, but I think they want to let people know what's going on in their own time. So I think we'll get something like a keynote sort of online conference, perhaps. Something, maybe not so much of a Nintendo Direct, but we'll probably get something very similar to that. And Sony will make their announcements in their own time and potentially come back with in E3 2020 with hey, here's an actual PS5 and it's going on sale this year, jump-starting the next generation. Whatever. I think I don't think it's as big of a deal. I do think E3's on not so much on the decline, but it's not needed. It's really, yeah. I was more surprised with Nintendo's directs throughout the year, outside of E3. I mean, it's real cool for a pop, like in wrestling. When something special happens or whatnot, and you get a pop from the crowd. Yeah, that's what it's there for. Something for the fanboys to kind of drool over. But I think for us, those of us who don't go to those events, who don't plan on going to those kinds of events, we do. You can go watch the YouTube video of it, as soon as it happens. I don't know. I may be underplaying the importance of E3. I know the historical significance of the event is huge, but I just don't see it being a massive focal point as it really was. Because I think if Microsoft, if Sony, if Nintendo, if they decide to speak, we're going to listen. It doesn't matter if it's E3 or not. So that said, when will the PS5 come out? Obviously, 2020 is when we expect it. There was an official statement from Sony as to why they were skipping E3. This came via GameSpot. It says, and I'll quote this: "As the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to engage the community. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, and we always want to innovate, think differently, and experiment with new ways to delight." They missed a comma. New ways to delight gamers. As a result, we've decided not to participate in E3 in 2019. We're exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you. They're going to do a keynote. This article that I'm reading from, this Forbes article, also states, it feels safe to say that there will be a PS5 and that it will be released around the time when 4K televisions are considered standard for American homes. That time is quickly approaching if it's not already here. I'd give it another year or two. It says TV Technology reports retailers will have shipped 102 million 4K devices in 2018. That said, next year seems too soon, and the decision to skip E3 seems to align with the train of thought that suggests it's close but not imminent. Color me Team 2020 in this discussion. Plus, PS5 in 2020 just has a far more futuristic ring to it. I would agree with that 125%. We're going to have PS5 in 2020. 4K technology is obviously it's growing. Some of us can't really afford it, but yes, it's becoming more standard. PS4 Pro is in the Xbox One X. That's the next ledge. It's the next starting point. And then your next systems are going to go even beyond that. I don't know how long what I'm curious then is I don't know how long it'll take until Microsoft announces their thing. But as I discussed last week, though, they're not exactly going head-to-head anymore. So Xbox is going to go and do their own thing, live their own life, be their own system, especially with Game Pass and whatnot. And there's another article here through Variety that essentially is title, Microsoft and Nintendo remain committed to E3 despite PlayStation's departure. It says both Nintendo and Microsoft remain committed to the effectiveness of the E3 Video Game Expo held each year in Los Angeles, despite news first reported by Variety that PlayStation's decision not to attend next year. Both Nintendo or essentially Reggie from Nintendo and Phil Spencer from Microsoft continue to just say, hey, we want to, we believe in the commitment to the partners that we've had and blah 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 blah. The article states that last year Ubisoft has for a number of years held an off-site side event for fans. EA last year held a fan-focused event away from the show, but during the same week. And Microsoft took over the nearby Microsoft Theater in LA at LA Live. The ESA also created a series of talks for fans to attend that didn't take place at the convention center. The result is a show that feels smaller and more spread out, and a show floor that seems almost empty compared to the show's prime days, where booths became so boisterous. One year featured a fire act from Burning Man. The companies filed noise complaints against one another with the association. It decided not to attend E3 in 2019. PlayStation seemed to lean on Nintendo's announcement years ago that it was changing its own approach to E3. While the company behind the Switch does attend E3, it's showing is a much more focused affair developed around a stronger online presence and less on-site fanfare. Instead of packing its booth with a library of games, the company often creates wondrous set pieces built around a single game, meant more to entertain than sell gamers on this content. Sony seems interested in exploring its own options after last year's press conference, which was viewed by many to be anemic and slightly confusing. The decision also creates some concern about the company's short-term library of games for the PlayStation 4. It announced earlier this year that a lack of playable titles was why it wasn't going to host a fan event in December. One strong possibility is that PlayStation is preparing for the rollout of the next console, something that would lead to a drop in current-gen development internally, and perhaps a decision to hold their cards back for a major reveal event outside of E3 when the news can get all the attention. The Entertainment Software Association, the board of which includes PlayStation, remains optimistic about its trade show. So, as I said, I think Sony is taking, like stated in the article, Sony's taking a jump in a similar fashion as Nintendo, but they want to do it their own way, and that makes total sense. And I think you're going to start seeing even Microsoft kind of pulling away from that as well. I don't see any issue with E3 existing. I think it can be a fun event. It's a fun time. Call it a celebration of games. You get to see some new stuff that comes out, but is it really as necessary as it was before at one point back in the day when we had the magazines and we didn't always know what was going on, and we had to wait, another month before we could find out what was new and what was coming. Whereas today we just go on to Google, just go see what's happening on IGN or Variety or whatnot. You just find what's happening. It's a different world we live in, and this is not a bad thing, but it's just, it's change that happens. So with that said, guys, I'm going to move on to the Twitter poll. Only had 5 votes. Only had 5 votes, but yet I am still super, super happy of everyone who took part in the vote. I appreciate it immensely. Even if there's only 1 or 2 votes per, Twitter poll, I will still appreciate it more than anything. So what happened? What was the question? Since Black Friday will soon be here, that's happening next week, which console do you want that you don't already have? And the options were Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, or I already own all 3. 20% said I already own all 3. That'd be 1 vote. Another 20% said that they wanted the Nintendo Switch. And 60%, which I'm assuming is about 3 people, stated that they would like a PS4. No one wants an Xbox One. I can't really blame them. PS4 right now has all the major exclusives going forward. You've got especially with Spider-Man and then God of War that happened earlier this year. And we had 1 reply from the man himself, Joseph Vuk. I'd say a Switch, but I already got it, baby. Yeah, I know you do, Vuk. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. People don't realize, but Vuk is actually is strictly a PC gamer. So anytime that he actually gets on the Switch, I'm surprised. Stella, thank you, sir, for commenting and replying to the poll. That was really fun. So what is the Twitter poll for this week? I'm going to make it very topical. Do you think E3 is still relevant? Do you care about E3? Do you pay that much attention to it? And it's going to be simple. Maybe yes, maybe no. But let me know what you think. Because I'm curious as to what people think about E3. Is this that big of a deal that Sony backed out of it? Or is it not that big of a deal? I think we'll know if it's a big enough deal. If you people think that it is, vote yes. Pay attention to E3. Do you not pay attention to E3? It'd be very interesting to know. So with that, guys, as I said at the beginning of the show, I'm saying this here towards the end now because I don't want to forget. If you want to follow the show, you can follow us on Twitter at SSG_podcast. Do not just go to SSG Podcast unless you are indeed a massive fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Or you can follow us on Facebook. You can just search SSG Podcast. You can find us on there. And if you want to listen to the large library now, it feels like, of episodes that we have, you can absolutely go to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or you can go to the actual home site, which is Spreaker. Just search up SSG Podcast, look for the red logo. I try to make it red, try to make it stand out, try to make it bold. You'll see it right there. Click on it, subscribe to us, listen to us, and give feedback as well, because I'm always looking for ways to improve the show. So with that, guys, thank you so much to all of you in America or outside of America who celebrate Thanksgiving. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and have a wonderful time with your family. Don't eat too much food. But still, enjoy yourselves. Have a fantastic time. And I will see you guys next week.